Okay, so today, since it's election night, I figured I may as well do something a little bit different. I was almost just going to do it as a just chatting category and just sort of react to it, but since that's not exciting enough, we need to spice it up with a fucking board game that's going to end in draws the majority of the time. But yeah, I did predict originally that Trump was going to win. I thought it would be, well, you can't say for sure yet what's going to happen because obviously California is going to go to her and stuff. Some things are always a sure thing, but it seems pretty good, and this sort of combats at least the whole thing like that happened last time in 2020 to whatever dubious things you might suspect. If a lot of the majority of states get the counting done now very early, then there's no question about like, oh, at 3 a.m. they uncover some ballots and they do something weird. Like Pennsylvania is notorious for that, so that's going to be bullshit. I guarantee you Pennsylvania will be Democrat, and I guarantee you it'll be at like 3 a.m. or some dumb shit like that. But yeah, I'm not a fan of either one necessarily, but there is like a bigger picture point that I've spoken about a number of times. And this sort of harkens back to my debate format where I would sort of talk about stuff like this a little bit. Hey, Freshwater, how's it going? How you been? So let's see what we have here. I mean, I guess I haven't really paid much attention to all the stories around it, but the one thing that he did that was kind of stupid is he campaigned in Madison Square Garden, like in New York City. But you know you're not going to win New York anyway, so what's the point? You know, I get he's from there, but he's been from there from 2016, and he was from there in 2020. Like it doesn't really matter. But no, the bigger picture point is: do you care about the one-party state that the Democratic Party is threatening to become with the very clear coalition and sort of alignment with the corporate owned media that they clearly have? Even people who like them can't really talk around how much bias there is there. That's really dangerous. I don't care who wins, just want the economy to get better. Yeah, and I can certainly understand people being frustrated with the way things presently are. But no, it's like my whole dream was that if people don't like one candidate so much, like Trump, they could just vote against him by voting for an independent. Then why do you have to vote for the other major party? So you could still check both boxes. Like if your only platform is you don't like him, which a lot of people sadly are like that, that doesn't mean you should vote for the other major party. So yeah, the threat of a one party state, of that being much more significant, right, where you have this alignment of media and the Democratic Party that is more dangerous than whatever people think Trump might do. So this is actually looking really good for him. I wasn't expecting this, but I guess the good thing that they can do is again, get most of these states done. There's going to be some shenanigans with Pennsylvania and bullshit like that. I mean, I feel like that's happened every time where it seems like he probably is going to win that one and then he doesn't. So there is something weird about it. The water main breaks, and like, as much as people say these conspiracies, or I did say something pretty good a while ago about the 2021. It's that like people sort of say that, oh, it's rigged, like in some way, right, that wasn't fully substantiated or whatever. But the thing is that there's two things. Like, number one, more people voted there than normal. Like, that's happening here too. So you do need to be a little more cautious. It doesn't mean that, oh, that invalidates the outcome or the outcome was different, but it means that it wasn't treated like as seriously as it should have been. Like, oh yeah, we just had the record number of the most votes ever for an incumbent and for a challenger. Like, both people got the most votes ever, and they treat it like, oh, it's no big deal, everything's fine. Like, there should have been a little more attempt to take that a bit more seriously and be weary about it. And then the other thing is that what do you call it? Oh yeah, I said the same thing about the media bias. Like, that arguably dictated the outcome, because if you look at it in terms of objective criteria, this is a good example that I always would give. When a president, right, so he gets like 60 plus million votes, whatever, the first time, and he wins in 2016. Now, typically, when a president gets more votes the second time, right, for re-election, they're going to win, even if they get less. So Obama in 2008 to 2012 lost votes, but he still won in 2012. So you can win with less votes. But Trump not only didn't get less votes, he got more by like over 10 million. So that would both validate, oh, that means he must have been pretty good, according to people, as much as they try to say, oh, he's the worst president ever or whatever. And number two, what that means is that probably you would be guaranteed to win there. So that's a very aberrant outcome as well. Casually going through a major point in history. I guess everything is a point in history, but I mean, I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be either, but there is something disturbing about the, and I think this proves that that's my biggest vendetta. Like I don't care so much about politics, but I do have this whole long-standing criticism and weariness of media in general, and this is a great way to bring that out because I've never, I don't know, I've done certain topics on it a long time ago in the past, like the Iraq war propaganda and stuff like that, just the way that I sort of analyzed it, and it's something that I've always just sort of noticed and fed into. I kind of tried to qualify. So it's like, how does Biden get 81 million votes all of a sudden when he's run for president twice before? And he barely got any votes. He wasn't even his party's nominee, anything like that, right? How does that just suddenly happen? That's because of, again, media bias. Propaganda would be one of the only ways to really adequately explain it. So you go from being unpopular with your own party, not even like, oh, just Republicans saying it or somebody else saying it. His own party didn't like him, and now all of a sudden he gets 81 million votes. That doesn't mean that those votes are illegitimate, like, oh, they cheated there. It means that the bias and propaganda was so strong, censoring stuff that could hurt him, some of the stories, whatever. So that, and then you can just bait and switch. It doesn't matter. Oh, now Biden's gone, the most popular challenger ever, most popular candidate ever. Now he had to drop out, and now Harris comes a few months away from the election, and all of a sudden she's going to be incredibly popular. Like, even if she loses, it's like, how do you just suddenly do that well? She wasn't that popular with her own party either. She got like 1% of the vote in the primary. So that's what's disturbing. So in other words, whoever the media wants to win, they can just make them win just like that. And it's pretty telling as far as how it goes in other countries. Like, maybe it's not something people are super aware of, but if you study other countries' politics, you can look at like China or Russia. Sure, what they might do that people would bring up is they're going to just, if you have like a legitimate challenger to Putin or Xi Jinping, like let's say they do their little show elections just for the procedure of it. If somebody has a legitimate chance of beating, Putin or Xi Jinping, they might just fall out of a window and they'll just disappear and they'll just die or they'll get arrested for some pretense, right? But if not that, what's the next best thing? And the state-controlled media will, of course, throw a lot of dung at them and try to bring them down that way. So, in other words, that's like the check or the sort of approval of the elite of the country is represented. That's sort of the mouthpiece of the wealthy or the elite or whatever, the true power structure in the country. So whatever they want to happen, right, that's how they try to ensure it, or that's how they try to, make that happen. So in other words, oh, you know what? That would have been nasty, because couldn't he have already done that? He would take, but I could just take with that, and even having that there doesn't change it. So yeah, it becomes a mouthpiece of the elite. So in other words, two unpopular candidates can suddenly be extremely powerful challengers, because you see the core defining element is just the media bias alone is too strong. And so I'm scared by this prospect, but I don't know what to really do about it. Right, so that bias aspect is very dangerous, and the reason why is because that shouldn't dictate the outcome so much, and that's what you see in China, that's what you see in other countries. I guess the argument sometimes people would make is, well, it's not state-controlled media, technically, so that's better than, it's still free press, and you're right, but that doesn't mean that they still can't take sides, right? If it's state aligned, that's still very dangerous. And when they play favorites, basically. This is a fork, except he'll go there and fucking destroy me, because then, in a way, though, if I somehow just move the king, you might be able to do something with it. Because now the knight will no longer be able to give a check, and what you're doing, well, you're going to double stack it, I bet, but I could have gone like this, and then if he moves this, I also get to take. Like, I could do no. Oh, this is a weird-ass position, too. But no, the core frustration comes with that idea, the fact that you're able to realize like the bigger picture, right? You don't have to like either one of them, but that would be the bigger point. Is like one seems like what is it that makes right candidate like Trump popular? It is just he must have genuine public support, because if he doesn't have genuine public support, then where's he getting it from? Right? He's not getting a lot of flattering coverage, to say the least. So there's nothing more to it. So if you have that, at least that tells you you know, that would be the source of it, whereas the other side is constantly getting buffered up in some unnatural way. So that shouldn't be required, basically, is the whole idea behind it. You shouldn't need the help of some other, you know, external factor. That shouldn't be the defining factor. What other topics do we have here? Like abortion, I always kind of clown people for. And my position is pretty unique, that like I don't feel like it should be illegal, but I also would stigmatize it heavily and say, you know, in an ideal perfect world it wouldn't need to happen, or you know, it just wouldn't happen. So, and the health concerns and all that are a very small number of a very, very small number of the actual cases that occur. And so, you know, assault and health cases. So the reality is people try to play semantics with it in terms of people try to play semantics with it in terms of the ability to say, well, we're going to dehumanize the fetus just to justify whatever we're going to do. We're going to try to change the language of it. Right. So that's as if to almost acknowledge that if you didn't do that, then what would happen? And the answer is you're basically admitting like, oh, it's not okay if it was a baby, but you want to dehumanize it and say it's not. But it's a self-fulfilling fallacy, because you're saying like, well, it's not a baby yet because we're not allowing it to develop into one, so we're going to kill it before that happens. So we're going to use the fact that we're preventing it from developing into a baby to justify killing it, but we're never giving it the chance to actually do that. So it's like, it's a very oh, this is good. You know, your reason why it's okay to kill it is, oh, it's not yet fully developed, but it can't fully develop because you're killing it before you're giving it the chance to fully develop. So it's a self-fulfilling thing. You'll always be able to do it then. You could do it to everybody then. It's just not a good argument to make. I'd rather you admit what it's really about, is that, oh, the vast majority of them are just for convenience, that people want to do it just because they just don't want to deal with the responsibility financially and otherwise. And that's actually fine. Within an absolutist perspective that I always talk about, that wouldn't actually be an issue. Wait, what? Oh, you do actually get it. Of course, bro couldn't actually make a mistake. That's all part of his plan. But yeah, that would be the point. That, oh, fuck off. The point would be, yeah, just admit what it's actually about, and that would be much better. So which ones, like, you know, California is going to go to Harris. So that, you know, sometimes this is just the order of the count can kind of obscure it a little bit when it comes to like if you had counted that, it'd be a lot closer. The fact that, you know, that's like 54 right there. But yeah, most of these are looking pretty good. If this is, yeah, now here comes the 3 a.m. fucking shit, dude. I'm just gonna say Pennsylvania is dirty. You can just tell some shit like that is just dirty, dude. But yeah, most of this is fine. Why is it that the West Coast specifically was so late in doing it? Is it a time zone issue, or like all of that was strategically not relevant, really? And there's a lot of that talk about the electoral college issues, the idea that, you know, that the electoral college would basically be, oh, it's so bad, but I don't like how selective that was in terms of, you know, I'm not saying it's a perfect system, but all of a sudden, again, because people don't like Trump, that's why they started to attack it, not just inherently. If you had criticized it before, I can accept that. Or I had like some big long spiel about it that was very, or not even long, but like one of my old school, it's hard to explain exactly. Like this series of logical razors that I would put together, like, if you want to complain about the electoral college as far as 2016, there's a few problems with that equation. And the reality is that if you didn't like it, you should have tried to change it before. And the people who had the most opportunity to change it were people already in politics. So Trump would have been the last person who actually would have had that ability. And on top of that, so he would have never had the chance to change it. A lot of the people who would criticize it or lose to him, like Hillary, didn't try to change it when they were in government, and they would have had the chance to potentially do that. And on top of that, oh shit. On top of that, you have the simple reality that, what do you call it? That they wouldn't have had the chance to change it, and also it's sort of like somebody playing the game by their rules. So an outsider to politics would be most disadvantaged by that sort of insular system. So it would be a system that punishes and allows independents to have a harder time winning. And so now you're getting into the whole trap of like, you're an outsider beating them at their own game, and now they complain that, oh, the game is rigged, but you're the one who set the rules. You're the one who's, you know, who that process would favor. And so it's very hard to justify that. For fuck's sake. Given the fact that he's +5, this actually doesn't seem all that bad. I'm guessing because it's further away from DC. I guess. I don't know. Some of these I expected, like Michigan is always up for grabs. That's always a close one. Then he says something kind of funny in Detroit. Like, he's in Detroit and he says, oh, if you don't vote for me, the whole country will end up like Detroit. Like, it's not untrue. Detroit is a shithole. I'll even say it. But it's like, you probably shouldn't say that in Detroit. Like, what, do you want the whole country to be like your shitty city? Okay, I'm obviously going to lose. God damn it, I don't know why he's doing that. Yeah, a lot of these should be pretty clear. That's pretty close. Wisconsin's pretty close. Michigan and Pennsylvania, he would have a chance. If he wins Pennsylvania, it's over. Like, that's always the one, but they never let him do it because now it's going to take till next week to fucking count, because that's totally what happened last time. It seemed like he was going to win it, and then there was some big delay. They had a water pipe break, and then they had a fucking bunch of ballots at 3 a.m. Like, that's the kind of shit that people make fun of, sort of rightly, right? Regardless of your feeling on whether something is dubious happening. That is absolutely the state that is biggest clown show for it. Bro is gonna flag with this house horse clown foolery. I can't even fucking talk properly about it. Like, what the fuck is he doing, man? You're up a piece, you're up +5. Like, what is this? Yeah, that knight's a good piece, by the way. You don't even need the knight, man. You could literally win this if the knight wasn't even on the fucking board. I don't know if it like updates auto, unless you have to reload like that. We can get a 3-fold repetition. We can get a flag. Like, I'm kind of confused. Okay, that's kind of good because he's pushing me back. And now you're doing this. Bro, you're making this way harder than it has to be. Okay, you just gotta remember the knight is an absolute weak link, so you can always try to take advantage of that. No, you can't actually do anything with these. Oh, but you already win. I mean, you just do that. Like, I'm done. For fuck's sake. Could be a stalemate possibility where the knight fucks everything up. Okay, whatever, dude. These last couple of games have been pretty annoying, actually. Like, they're relatively even, and then something dumb sort of just happens. I don't really care about all these other things either. Senate lost 1 seat, gained 1 seat, but they're just counting them, I guess, quicker. House 125, 28. Lost 2 seats, gained 2 seats. 25 to 22. Perfectly balanced as all things should be, because it must be that. No, it doesn't have to be, I guess. Why is it like acting like that's the limit? Like they can't get more than 25. Okay, let's do another one. I have to change my stupid art then. Yeah, I've been on a pretty bad streak the last couple of times I've done this for whatever reason. Or I was gonna reintroduce those permadeath ones, like where I'll go until I lose. But yeah, what other good topics do we have here? I actually did a pretty good retread or look into some of these topics in the Phoenix Wright discussion, where like I was sort of role playing as both sides in Ace Attorney Online. So like Edgeworth is making the case for one side, and something Edgeworth is making the case for one side, Phoenix is making the case for one side, and what you have is the ability to I was sort of clowning actually Democrats there, because again I'm playing both sides, so I'm not really sure who's going to do better or what I'm going to come up with, but it ended up being where that was actually much better, because again a lot of the arguments could just be used in a middle ground way. Like if you don't like somebody, just don't vote for them. If you want to vote against somebody, you can vote for an independent. So none of that really goes to voting, more in the left direction, because that's like the only platform that there is, which is really heavily lacking. That, oh, we just don't like this other guy, so we're gonna mindlessly vote for, some other major party in a way that's not. The chess custom pieces, isn't this just the same thing I just used? Cute cat icon, darkwood board, darker theme. I like this one, but it doesn't work because you're missing Naomi. Light fucking killed her and made her kill herself, and she buried herself in the woods somewhere, and then we never find her because he writes out like some super elaborate means of killing her. I really wish I could use that one. I guess I could just try to manually keep track of that one of that one piece, but that's an extra level of challenge that I can't handle right now. So we go to somewhere along the lines here, and it's going to be Green Glow is one of my favorite ones. Unfortunately, the board aspect of it doesn't work anymore. There was some update on here that kind of fucked that up. Darker theme. I was using these before where I would sort of change it around. I actually kind of like that just as a permanent fixture. That just looks beautiful. Maybe I'll just do that. I'll just keep it as a constant thing. So that's not really a permanent thing. It's just whatever. And of course, the boards change as I win games. I guess I could do that. Maybe I'd change the theme every time I win, but custom pieces I just used. Right, those are pretty much the same. Death Note. I almost want to indulge it, because all I'd have to do, it's so much work though. I have to keep track of this stupid ass queen, where, you know what, it's such a good set. I'll still even do it. And so, okay, let's see what's going on. 112. But yeah, this is looking pretty good for him here. Let's see, Maine is worth 4. Yeah, Pennsylvania would be the one, though. I would say that right for sure. If he wins that, that's pretty much it, because that's a real toss-up. Michigan is still possible. I mean, some of these are so close. Georgia is kind of a big deal, where he was, so pissed about losing that last time. Virginia, I somehow think of going the other way as well. Yeah, let's actually try to do this with the fucking Death Note set, though. That would be sick. So he's white, I'm pretty sure. Would make sense. So the only thing you're missing is the queen, so I just have to keep track of his queen's positioning. And if I can do that, then oh shit, what's happening there? You keep track of the queen, and I don't know. That's gonna be so fucking difficult. It's like an extra layer of challenge. So we already have to do that. So the queen is there. I mean, the whole highlighting of it kind of makes it work out pretty well. So you can bring the queen here, and that sort of shuts down whatever it is they might be doing, I think. You're double attacking here. I could just double cover it there. And the reason why is because, okay, Ryuk comes... You're comparing Ryuk to Ray Penber. Like, I guess he did counter him by, like, watching his... Like, announcing to Light whatever he was trying to do. And that's one rare time that he actually helped him. Now, this could hurt me because it allows your knight to come there, but it maybe doesn't matter that much either. Like... I don't know, actually, what... There's nothing you can really do with it. You would have to attack it with this stupid-ass bishop from some way. Let's see what we got here. Bring the knight out. He's not really putting any meaningful pressure. Everybody hates Nier so much just because, like, oh, he gets the credit for winning, but they do sort of qualify it at least to say, like, he didn't really beat Light. He just, you know, benefited from Mello helping him and all that. Like, they don't write it in such a way to imply that, like, oh, he's actually smarter than Light or better than Light, and then therefore better than L. You go here would be something you could do. The Ryuk is a fucking horse. That is kind of insulting to him, I think. Light and L are obviously the kings. You got Mello as the bishop. That actually makes a lot of sense because, you know... And you have Naomi, and see, like, the queens are off the board, so now I have nothing to worry about. Actually, that encourages my trading style play even more, just because you can't fucking see the piece. But no, it's like you have okay, Ray Penber is the knight, and the other aspect. Okay, I was thinking about that he could do that too, but but no, it's like that Mello and Nier, it kind of makes sense as far as like a power ranking issue is that Mello is always secondary to Nier. So it makes sense that the stronger of the two pieces would be Nier. That's kind of a good thing that they did there. You try to get rid of this. But yeah, I've always been scared to use this set just because of that reason, that I feel like, oh, I'm going to get clowned by the fact of Mikami being the rook is also pretty logical. So I guess the one character who's missing here is Takeda, though. Takeda could easily be the queen, but I guess it's Misa instead. She has more presence in the series. Like, it almost doesn't fit because Misa is such a fucking liability. Misa could have been like the rook instead. Or, I'm sorry, the bishop. Misa should have been the bishop, and Takeda should have been the queen because she's way more capable than Misa is. Or arguably, even Mikami could be the queen. Even as weird as that seems, because he's at least more capable in a broad general sense. He's winning the popular vote so far too, and of course he got 74 million last time, so he's already on his way, right, in a big way. But this is where some of the numbers get inflated in certain states, because you know you're gonna win New York, but then it becomes sort of redundant that you do, because it's like, you know, you'll just sort of pad it because the population is so extensive. California and so Arizona would be a big deal as well. And so let's see what we can do here. You're hitting this. I kind of don't like the way this is going. It's a lot of back and forth bullshit. I'd like to do another trade. How fitting would it be if Rem, a bishop, checkmates L, because that's actually what did happen. Which a lot of people felicitously use that to try to discredit some of the nature of the series as far as you know, like, oh, you get to discredit a light, but it's still all light's plan. Like, Rem was arguably as much of an obstacle to light as L in a way, because she was trying to protect Misa and didn't really like light. But you know, given the circumstances, you have so you go here, you're threatening to go here. If I go here and you go here, then I go here, then you go here. That's sort of giving them too much initiative, in my opinion. Yeah, like this is almost shows you the resources that they have. It's the notebook versus like the worldwide police and all the, you know, resources that L has in that position. And so here you're hitting the actual bishop itself, which I wouldn't mind if he took, but I don't know. I guess I'll let him do it. So go ahead, we trade, and we have the little black theme. I guess the one thing I can't really see very well here is the time, which somehow that wasn't an issue before in the last game. What was so different about it? Necromancer, not mage, is in grave danger. I found that pretty good. That's a good Necromancer pun. So you open that shit up now because you're not worried because I don't have the Darkstar Bishop anymore. Very appropriate. So now you can keep doing this shit over and over, and I find that kind of annoying. Yeah, you're really ragging on somebody. Like, shouldn't it be Soichiro Yagami or somebody like more noteworthy? Not that Ray Penber isn't a significant character, but he's just kind of random, and you kind of forget. Oh God, you're gonna go to there. You're gonna try to be all cute about it. So yeah, that's maybe what I would have done. I would have made Takeda the queen potentially, and I would have made Yagami, his dad, the knight. So here you bring it into there. So now you can do this, but it's no longer even giving a check or anything. You do it like there, and then if I don't take, I get screwed. So you have kind of maybe a little mistake that I made. Just trying to trade everything off in a way that may not actually be that good for me. So looking like most of these are doing pretty good. Again, Pennsylvania would be very valuable. But no, I like how people suddenly treat it like, oh, we care so much about it now. Like, as if, I don't know, there's so much of that response. Like, oh, we care when we didn't care in other elections. Like, shouldn't you care all the time? Doesn't it always matter? It's like the selective thing. Like, oh, now you're finally deciding to pay attention. So, like, you're kind of outing yourself a little bit. Like, oh, so you were just stupid and now you're not because you weren't paying attention, basically. Okay, let's see what we can do here. This is a very dangerous kind of a thing, so maybe I'll do this even though I don't want to. But yeah, Mikami is definitely not on Nier's level, but that's not really what it has to mean. You got 4 gods of death on your side. It's very unfair. Yeah, mathematically, this should be pretty clear, but I don't know. 88% reporting, unless some shenanigans happen here. You already know what I already predicted. Pennsylvania is going to have shenanigans. Alright, so we have this. You go here. They would take, I would take, they would take, I would still take. You can do this. They would take, I would take, they would take, I would still take. You have this little V-shaped structure that I always swear by. I'm in a good, reasonable spot. You're hitting that with a check. Doesn't really change anything if you take, I still take. That would be very dangerous. In fact, it is very dangerous, but there is one way to escape it, because now if you take this, then I take this. And if you take this, then I take it back with this. So it technically that could have been a disastrous moment. And I'm surprised I wasn't more aware of it, but... Or yeah, like people in other countries, even some of my friends from other countries like Australia and stuff, have such a strong opinion about it. It's like, you wouldn't normally hear or care that much about it, but I guess... I don't know. Something about it just feels weird. Like, why do people suddenly care? Why is it suddenly a big deal? What? And by that logic, like, why couldn't I... Oh, I mean, I guess... I was doing fine. It was a good thing, but I fucked up. Yeah, but I was doing so good, too. And I can't blame the piece that, like, oh, I couldn't see the queen. You're really gonna give it to Misa, though, just because, oh, you think she's more attractive or something, not because she's actually... you know, smarter or better or more capable in the series. She's a fucking liability. You know, even Naomi Mizura, like they want it to be female, obviously, but it'd be like your right hand. So L doesn't really have. Yeah, it could be watery instead of, you know, that would almost make more sense. Like the right hand, not so much some female character that happens to just have to be that. So you have you have the ability to basically go here, 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 try to take there. So if I didn't just randomly blunder a piece that I didn't have to do, I would have been fine. Don't you love when you do that? Like just random shit that you don't have to do even. I should get one of those for sure so I can maybe claw my way back, but the problem is time is not on my side. So what's intriguing is also the popular vote. I mean, you'll see some more come into here that'll make up for that. With respect to, you know, that in California, so that will still play into it. You know, I may get trapped with this, but I don't necessarily think I will. But it's very easy to trap the stupid ass knight. Nier's really trying to take out a fucking god of death, dude. So that's good. You get an octopus knight. And you would guarantee a trade here that I almost would like, but maybe I won't do it now. And so what you have is you know, normally I would do that, but now with the pawns, I don't know actually what I want to do. If the time was like reversed, you know, then I could always take advantage and try to flag him, but I don't know. 48, gain 1 seat, lost 1 seat. 92. Oh, fuck, I don't have time for this shit. This is where the trading would be very valuable, but the problem is that you're able to, I can't really afford to do it because I have so little material anyway already. So yeah, I won't even see the full outcome of this, but I guess what I'll see is, you know, generally it looks like he's going to win, but then there'll be all this 3 a.m. kind of dog shit that happens where, oh my goodness, now everything flips. Okay, dude. So the knight isn't really doing anything, but oh, it's an octopus knight, so I should be technically winning because octopus knights are so good, but we gotta wait for the opportune moment to actually use it effectively. What did he just win to even get that? I don't even see it. You know, all kinds of crazy crap with this. Give a check, I take. He's gonna trap me with the 2 bishops, maybe. For fuck's sake. God damn it, dude. You didn't deserve any of that because you were basically in a position to. New Mexico kind of flipped around a little bit. You were in a position. The Octopus Knight still means that I'm even because it's worth 8 apparently in some stupid ass calculation that people always say that, oh, the Octopus Knight is worth such and such. So 210, you're almost doubling them up, but just keep in mind, obviously, California is worth like 50 alone. And so that's going to be a guaranteed thing that you're going to get. So you're winning, actually, New Mexico by a lot. I'm surprised by that. Yeah, New Mexico, also known as the United States of America since 2020, am I right? With all the fucking illegal immigrants we've let in, we may as well call the whole country New Mexico. And we have Georgia is a big deal. We have Pennsylvania is a big deal. Now, in before the 3 a.m. fucking mail-in votes, this one is pretty close. That would be kind of a big deal. Do not win Pennsylvania at 3 a.m. gone wrong. I'm telling you, dude. It's the exact fucking same thing. It actually might be a lot closer than what it seems like, just because he's ahead early, right? Because technically you can say she's already at like 170, because you know she's going to win California, and you know she's going to win like one of these other ones. And so now you have really a difference of a couple key states. See, this one was favoring, oh, I guess it's not really much reporting. This one was red like the whole time, but I guess they haven't really counted much. So Georgia is a big deal. Georgia and Pennsylvania would really be the 2 that seal it. If he wins both of those, because that's not something that he did last time, right? He couldn't have. Yeah. He lost both last time and was upset about it. This one seems pretty much sure because there's 88% reporting. That's only 60%. Michigan sort of has flipped here now. Yeah, there's a lot of paths for him now. It's very tight. You know, if you take away California, she's in a little bit of hot water. Typically, I feel like Alaska and Hawaii are Republican. 0 electoral votes. Yeah, see how the Electoral College doesn't favor independents? That's really what it's designed to prevent. Is someone outside the political system, political class, and then somebody who's an outsider who's running for the first time wins, and then, oh no, it's all the Electoral College's fault. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't mean it's a good system necessarily, but it's still dumb. Okay, let's change to the next set. I'll play a couple more, I guess. This is pretty close. Yeah, it's deceptive how, you know, depending which states start, it seemed like he was at a way bigger advantage than what he actually is. Because some of these you can just get out of the way at the beginning. You already know who's going to win New York and Florida and some of these. So which art was I on? The Grave Danger one. Now we have 3 in a row that are basically exactly the same thing. Just me looking at the fucking Orwell starting logo screen. Let's see here. We'll put the background. We'll put the next piece set. It's unfortunate because I did my best with the Death Note one, but I'm not going to blame the Death Note set as why I lost. Right, the Queen had nothing to do with it because I got to trade it off. So we got the Death Note, whereas oh yeah, this one's pretty beautiful. In fact, this looks different than when I remember using it before. Let me actually look at something. 2020. Like, let's compare it in terms of what is happening here. 235 to 303. And it was, yeah, Pennsylvania. Like, let's compare which ones has he already won that he didn't win there. Texas, Oklahoma. Okay, most of these are the same. If again, a lot of these, if he wins, that would be the big difference. He didn't win Pennsylvania. He didn't win Georgia. He did win North Carolina, South Carolina. Oh, I somehow I thought he won Virginia. I don't know why I think of Virginia as a more Republican red kind of state. Most of these he won. I don't know how this thing works, where you still get like one electoral vote in a different direction. Alaska, Hawaii was actually okay. I didn't know that Hawaii was actually Democrat. 4 and 1. They sometimes get that where they choose somebody different than even who wins. Yeah, looking at it, it's actually more similar than you would think. It really comes down to like, are they really gonna win all of these though? You need like one of these states to break through. If you could win Arizona, that's a big deal. So all these are extremely close. Georgia, he really should win given the math here. Right, 10% left. Pennsylvania is going to be pretty close. But yeah, if you win any of these, so he didn't win Michigan, Wisconsin, or that. So again, you got to win one of these 3, and then you have to win probably 2 of these 3 between Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. And that would be a pretty good path. Okay, let's go ahead and do another one. Yeah, they have different districts. Yeah, I forget exactly, but they get to choose like, or I don't know. Yeah, it can go against like what the state typically is, right? Like it can go in both directions somehow. Right, we go back here, which means this probably the bishop is not going to be very good in this kind of game. So Illinois, you win. Crime infested Chicago, of course. Some of these aren't even entirely accurate. Like, what if of the 25% left, you were to get all 100% of those votes, right? Trump could actually win that. It's very unlikely that's going to happen. But, you know, it's sometimes, you know, like, oh, the 75% reporting. What if he gets all the remaining 25%? So you have this, which I can't do. And the knight ends up being sort of a liability here. You got 113 to 210. I mean, just given that, you would think the popular vote, even with New York, you are winning as well. But by 6 million even. That's actually the biggest surprise. Because the only real stronghold you have now, if you're Harris, for the popular vote, is California. So that's actually not looking very good either. How ironic. If he would, as much as people complain and whine that, oh, the electoral college, this or that, imagine if he wins the popular vote, but he loses the electoral college. That would be the ultimate irony coming full circle, because that's how it began with him winning the other way. Why are some of these states so slow though? See, this is what ruins the momentum of it. Like, if you just get it over with, it removes all those doubts and questions that people have, whether they're justified or not. Yeah, that's the best way to convince people that, oh, there isn't like some sort of rigged agenda in general, not just to do with the election, but like everything leading up to it, is by calling half the population terrible people for having a different opinion, or, you know, for supporting somebody. Then when it comes down to these moments, that's why people are so bitter, because it's like, you know, the media spends 4 years saying, oh, this guy's horrible, this guy, everybody who supports him is bad, evil people, and now when he loses, it feels like, oh, like as if there's not an incentive behind that. It's not like you were being objective about it. You were constantly saying how much, oh, he's terrible, how could anybody vote for him, you know? So when you inject yourself like that, now it comes back on you, because it's very, you know, you're kind of telling. Yeah, let me actually look at these comparisons though, because so Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. Yeah, this is a thing as well. If you could win one, okay, you're not going to win that. You would think, given the border issue, like, oh yeah, everybody's upset about the border, so why the fuck doesn't New Mexico care? I guess they want to live up to their name. They don't want to be New Mexico. They want to actually just be Mexico. That makes no sense to me, actually. Of all the states, this is the one you would expect he would definitely win, because aren't they upset with what's happened at the border? Like, isn't that the whole point of this shit? So go here. They would take, can't take. This pawn is a little confused as to where exactly it's trying to go. Electoral voting meta. Let's see what we got. They would take, I would take, they would take, I would still take. But yeah, it definitely is a flawed system that I wouldn't mind seeing changed at some point. But because the whole principle behind it is just basically territory, that every state was promised a certain amount of votes based on the size of its land and stuff like that, more so than population. So over time, people do make very good points, like, you know, as the population changes, it's not fair to say that, oh, it should be always the same number no matter what. It should fluctuate based on population, or some other criteria should be used. I guess they'll have to trade here. But no, like a raw popular vote would seem to disenfranchise certain states, but maybe not, because like you could say, well, New York and California are always going to be Democrats, but that's to their credit then, because, you know, those votes count, so it doesn't matter what, you know, where they come from. If the whole, you know, if out of 300 million people, if 100 million live in 2 states, and those 2 states, you know, mostly go to one candidate, that still counts. You can't really diminish that just by saying it's sort of fatigue from one state. The 49 to 43 is pretty impressive, actually. That is kind of a shocking, regardless of the electoral number. I'm surprised that he's up in that way at all, because if you take away California, it seems like she's actually going to lose the popular vote no matter what. But she still has a chance in the college, because you have some weird path, but very unlikely. It really comes down to Pennsylvania. And if he wins Michigan, you're kind of screwed, because any of these 3, you're kind of fucked. Oh, shit. Oh, but it's only 9% reporting. Okay, we can just take their... Wait, what? Oh, you could have done something cheeky like this and then this, maybe. 210, bro. It'd be so shocking. Okay, so if you go here, why shouldn't I be able to do that? So I'd be -1. I think it's fine. It's not that you're saying it's not going to be covered. You're just saying that it's going to be something a little bit different as far as, yeah, that didn't actually do anything for me mathematically. It just kind of looked cute, I guess. You have the ability to double attack this if they have way too much cover on there. I'm not actually sure what this bishop is doing right now. 210, 50 million to 44 million. And again, this visual here of these four being red, 66 to only 26, 59, that could determine it right there for you. Arizona is kind of a big deal as well. Some of these states are always so close, right? Pennsylvania is close. Georgia's always close. Arizona was very close. And those were ones that he lost. He lost Arizona. He lost Michigan. These would be pretty surprising, actually, if he won either of those. What you have here is maybe the compelled trait. No, but I can't do it. I don't know. Or yeah, imagine if it actually was a 269 thing. Could be actually pretty bad because you go, yeah, what does actually happen? I don't even know. People talk about it like every single election just in some weird, vague, hypothetical sense, but okay, if you go here, almost want to go here, then you have an Octopus Knight, which we had in the last game, so clearly that doesn't mean I auto win, but I sort of just blundered a piece last game for no reason at all. The New Mexico kind of disappointed me. You kind of deserve what you get if this goes the other way. Makes no fucking sense. If there's one state that I was sure of, it would have been that. You know, like Texas, he should have won by, not by that much though, honestly, still. Like Texas and Florida are basically the equivalents to New York and California, but not quite as strong because you don't get as many votes from them. This is beautiful positioning. If you raise it, I can't take. What you need to figure out is a simple way to. I can't even take it anyway, but you can just go here. Donald Trump trying to find the imaginary 2.5 decillion votes for him from 2020. You go here, here, here. You could take this. This guy's kind of falling apart a little bit, I guess. But no, I fell down pretty hard as well. Like I keep going back and forth. Like I was on a really good streak for a while. But yeah, it's gonna take a while to get back to 17. This is okay. Or wait a second, why did I even do it like that? Wait, what happened? Why didn't I just take that? I took, oh, I guess I didn't have the chance to do it. For fuck's sake. We're still in a good spot. Okay, I was gonna say what happened, but obviously California. But now it's looking a little tighter. California and Washington suddenly they weren't even highlighted, and they suddenly just say that. What the fuck? 0% reporting. What do you mean, dude? I mean, this is actual how California and New York work. Just give it to her. You know she's gonna win it, but 0% reporting, 0 vote count, but she just wins it. Fuck it. What does that mean, dude? Like, you know that's gonna happen, but why are they doing it like that? These two just suddenly magically appeared, even though they're not even done, or they didn't even show like that they started. You know, it goes from this highlighted color to that typically. So the thing is, that might look good for her, but that's like the last bastion of hope that you have. A lot of these other states might not be going your way. So now you have the ability to I don't know what he's doing actually. What? What is that? Okay, he's finding all kind of creative, crazy mate. That makes it look like it's part of the UI of the actual site. That's how you get to the settings. That's how you get to the how you leave. Okay, I'm not playing very well, I will admit. So she won both California and Washington with 0 votes in either one because her total is still 44 million. So how the fuck does that happen? I love that. Let's just preemptively call it for her, just so that the total doesn't look so bad and so swayed. Like, what do you mean? How can you call it when nothing's even happening? That's so stupid. I mean, if you're gonna do it, and even Washington might not have been that sure of a thing. Oregon 1% reporting. It'll be like some kind of glitch, but how convenient that it goes in one. Let's look at some of these other sites, I guess. Presidential election results. Ted Cruz will win a third term, likely ending Democratic hopes, flipping GOP seat. But no, perhaps the most surprising thing is the popular vote so far. I guess this is about as accurate as you're gonna get, but I love what they did there. We don't even need to report, like just assume it. You know, at least that's up there, and it's a substantial margin that you would accept. This is 69%. He is winning. So that trend would probably stay, but we're going to have to stay up till 3 a.m. to see what happens with it. This is too early to even care. This is pretty good. Right, Wisconsin's pretty good. Minnesota, any of those would be good. See, why is Georgia taking so long? Like, this normally they would call it here. This should be it. You can call this at 0% though, lol. Okay, let's do another one. Let's see here. No, but it started off seeming much more one-sided than actually what it would be. Let's see. So we did the Orwell. Now it's going to be impossible to tell which one I am using because all three of these look like almost exactly the same. Data entry. Let's see what we got. This is... I can't even see what it is that I'm looking at. Like, you have been accepted into Orwell. Okay, this will be number 4. Yeah, it becomes kind of redundant when I use the same one twice. Then it makes it feel like I'm cheating. But for the sake of... most of these thumbnails are different. And they're just mostly random images from a game. It's not like it's something I carefully created or planned out. But sometimes those actually do better than ones that you do plan out. Whoops. Oh yeah, I haven't been using the perks for that either. And I guess I haven't changed the board in a while because I just haven't won. EGT Pegasus pieces. I did like that set quite a bit. So now you have the ability to consider that you have Euro Chad pieces. That would be the next one. 214. 179, 51 million to 45 million. Again, there's a couple million votes to be expected here. Something about that feels kind of weird. Like, honestly, they don't want to make it seem like it's too much in his favor, so now they're trying to even it up by just jumping the gun with those two. Because otherwise, you're literally almost there. If some of these would just fucking hurry up, dude. Why they always got to delay? The Georgia, he should definitely win. So 230, Arizona would be very powerful. Who won Nevada last time? I guess Democrats won Nevada. That one's not even doing anything. That is very tight. Now, let's do another one here. I gotta change my shush icon to a clown emoji because of how I've been playing. It's a pretty good set too. I actually don't remember this one really. I definitely don't remember the queen. Am I gonna fall below 1600? Because that should almost be some sort of failure state. When we had been as high as 1730 or something, 1727. I'm obviously just not paying attention. You go here, you go here. You try to overextend, put the bishop a little bit into here. Fucking Georgia, man. Georgia and Pennsylvania just sort of dragged their feet a little bit too much. You can try to go there and be all cute, but you have the knight to actually take. Sometimes you move in like sort of autopilot way too, especially in the opening where it ends up being like, you know, just you might miss something that they give you because you don't expect them to actually make a mistake or do anything substantial all along the line. And so here you could go, they would take, I would take, they would take, I would take, they would still take. Let's go here. They would take, I would still take. If they take, I can take. You raise, I can raise. Okay. You raise, I raise, and then I can go back. And it's actually okay. Even though it seems kind of ugly, it's a case where you do sort of the old bait and switch. If they raise here, I raise here. If they raise here, I raise here. So either way, it's actually okay. Because the bishop serves as a perpetual cover for this segment here anyway, and so you're able to do it in a way that's actually good. There's so many people who would probably be doing this sort of thing too. Like, let's stream the thing just because it's whatever. Wait, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, even there, I'm shocked and surprised that he would even do that because it's so stupid. Let's see what we got here. Now, all we have to do is like play disciplined, but that could be pretty hard to say. But even without doing that, it's still good. And the reason why is because we're able to I don't know, now I'm gonna do like something overly brazen that I really didn't need to do, and now my king is gonna be too open. So I got like maybe overconfident a little bit. You take. Trying to maybe try too hard to save my bishop here. Doesn't seem like a mistake either because they're just saying like that. You can't go there. You can go here. Now you'll go here, I guess. You have this. I could. What? Well, I guess I just gave him that right back then. Fuck it. So now I can't afford to lose the bishop itself. Because that, you know, not only did I get the rook, but I got the rook for free, basically, assuming that I'm able to keep the bishop alive. So now you'll set up to have the rook come into there, and then we have to cover it. So we could just come to here. Yeah, that one's not reporting enough. 63, 30%. The leads are not that substantial there. This looks pretty good. This looks very good. Those are the two that, you know, people start to suspect something dubious if you know, Georgia and Pennsylvania were looking like it, or in even North Carolina. Like, why aren't you just fucking finishing it, dude? Any of these other ones would be called already. That's only 50%. Okay, bro, he's trying to be all cute. I'm still +1, but just the position doesn't look very good somehow. You take, I could take. Yeah, North Carolina was actually there. Virginia was not there, which probably it's not going to be. You can go to here, go all the way back. Where did the results for that even come from? Like, it wasn't even there at all. How do you go from 0% to 51% just like that? And then these one, okay, now that's how he's starting. What is this fucking rigged shit? 47.3% versus 50.4%, but she won. Like, yes, probably she's going to win, but how do you know that? What the fuck is going on? You put it to here. It doesn't matter who, what's the expression? It's like, doesn't matter who you vote for, it matters who counts the votes. But in this case, it matters who reports the votes, because it's ultimately up to the media, so they can just kind of bullshit it, and then people just blindly accept it. So you have a cute little thing there you could potentially do. But let me see. You could do some maximum level cuteness thing here. Take. I guess not, though. If they took with the pawn itself, then I could do it. Yeah, I like all the unexpected support that you saw Trump ultimately get, like Tulsi Gabbard, who was a Democrat, or, you know, RFK, who is running basically as an independent, and the other, you know, just Elon Musk and Joe Rogan now, and like all these kind of other people outside the what you'd normally expect, I guess. So it's coming down to some of the same points. Nevada's just fucking asleep. Nevada, Alaska, and Hawaii, which nobody really cares about Alaska and Hawaii as much, but if only I had a cover there, you could actually do something with this shit. So let me see. You'll raise it to there, then you won't go. You won't be able to go anywhere with it. So you're going to, you go here, I go here, and now you shouldn't be able to do anything, because I could still take, You can't go to here because of the bishop and the knight. I don't know why it has to take this long for some of these, man. How come every other state can do it? %31%, 65%. If I do this now, you still can't take it. Because if you take, I take, you take, I still take. This is bad because I don't want to let him bring that shit into here. The knight. So it's 53 to 48. Now you give a nasty little check, but it's not that I can't deal with it. $48 to 54, and miraculously, both California and this happened, and of course this was one of these was incorrect the whole way. Like you just win those no matter what. I like that it's actually operating off the assumption standard. Like, oh, Democrats always win that state, which they do, but it doesn't mean that that has to happen here. You'll go to here and I could take, I'm not really sure what's happening. You go to here and I'm almost obligated to take. I mean, if the vote total last time was 74 million here, right, we're already most of the way in. And a lot of that just ends up being the excess votes that don't really matter because of the Electoral College anyway, you know, determining the outcome. So you could potentially go to here. And so now you have... Ooh. You would take, I would take. You would take, I would take. You would take. Yes, of course. Of course. Okay, you people are fucking annoying me. Holy shit. Let's see what we got here. 230. Which one was that? I don't even know which one keeps happening to make that happen. It's not Pennsylvania, it's not Georgia, it's not one of these three. So, oh, it was North Carolina, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of a big one. And I'm really surprised by Virginia. I feel like historically that one tends to be more Republican. But you can kind of see the whole swaths of, you know, it always makes it look like, oh, Republicans are doing better. And even here, like, oh, look at the middle ground is all, you know, it's not the number of states, but it's because some of these states are so impactful, like New York. And I guess you don't think of it like that. New York actually has less electoral votes than Florida and Texas, even though it feels like it's so big because of the obvious New York City and stuff. Split votes, you got a question mark that's like a brilliant move on chess.com, except a brilliant blunder, right? It looks like a combination of the blunder icon and the brilliant icon. So the only thing we got to look for here is, you know, Maine is probably going to go the other way, which at the beginning it almost wasn't looking like that, or you still got a long way to go with it. Yeah, if you do the simple mathematics here, who won Nevada? It was Democrats. So even if you assume that, you have very important couple states here, Arizona. See, this is where the rigged stuff potentially comes in, though. It's like, this is so tight that if some little thing is done right, that could make the whole difference. And the same thing with a couple of these, like, you know, this is all you would need to adjust if you were going for something. Georgia should already be fucking done too, by the way. This is gonna piss so many people off. That's what people always find so funny too. It's like in 2016 where people are getting so mad and salty about it, like little babies who don't get their way. Yeah, this 81 million thing was so fucking aberrant that is just unbelievable. Right, like it's just, I don't know. I can't blame people for having their doubts about it. And so even me being objective and in practice, I could care less even who wins. But when something just feels sort of unnatural, right, that's where a lot of the support even comes from. They just feel like something isn't right. That everything is so extreme and biased in one direction. I think we have one more RTUs here potentially. This is 50%. This is 90%. This is 76%. Some of these just sort of stop. They just get stuck. Now we got to make the necessary adjustments. We got to, you know, make sure we get the curated outcome as approved by the corporate-owned media. Like, come on, dude. Why does it suddenly just do that? But no, I like how quickly some of these states did resolve it at the beginning here. Like, some of them were done very quickly. Some of them have a pattern of being very slow. Pennsylvania, cough, cough. Number 1 is just a total fucking clown show. Let's see. We'll go with the last art here, which you'll find is actually completely identical to the last one I was just using. We just lost like 5 games in a row, and I'm not even like paying attention because I'm distracted by whatever, but it's okay. So that was the one after the Pegasus one, I feel like. DGT, Pegasus, Euro, Chad, Forest Green Board, Freedom. That's very fitting for, you know, the Electoral College here. Maple Board, Game Room Pieces. Okay, let's try to go on a good win streak with this one as we look for the final results here. 187. And so what did she just win there? It doesn't even show you like the most recent. Like what the most recent thing is. I don't even see what the difference is. We go here. Don't want to let him pin it down. Alaska and Hawaii. It's gonna come down to some shitty little dinky state like that. You should know Alaska's gonna be Republican because if fucking Sarah Palin can win, then anybody can win. I gotta see that movie one day. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like what's her name? The chick who plays like who replaced Jodie Foster as Clarice in Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, whatever, part 2 and stuff. What is her name? She's such a good actress. She was in a lot of the Paul Thomas Anderson movies, Boogie Nights, Magnolia. The fuck? I can't remember. But whatever. She plays Sarah Palin, and I couldn't even tell it was her. I saw like a clip of it. Nevada is just asleep, and they don't even care. They're just in their own world. Like, they're not even interested in doing this shit. 12 a.m. tomorrow. 1 a.m. I'm not going to stay up all night, dude. I just want to see some sort of... Whoops. I just want to see some sort of payoff here. By all appearances, it seems pretty clear what the outcome is going to be. But... there's going to be some weird shit. And so whenever there's weird shit too, this is what makes people suspicious. It's always in one direction, right? Like, oh, like, you know, it never benefits him. Like, oh, there's some weird Google search type bug or issue. Right, that prevents you from finding something for him. I don't know. It would be a real aberration moment that something here you wouldn't need that much. And even according to this, it would have to go exactly that way, that all these kind of fall in line. Right, that is exactly what you'd have. Well, I guess you wouldn't have to win in exactly the same manner, but you go back to there and you give up not a mate, but pretty close to a mate, I guess. This is pretty surprising that you would do that. So 230, 187. Yeah, but that's almost, she'd have to win like all of those. Georgia just doesn't seem like it's going to happen for you. Why is this not considered? It's kind of close, but for a lot of these other ones, they would have already called it at 91%. They can call California at fucking 0%. Can be all cute here if I really want. I can be like this. I can just take the queen first of all, but I could even do this shit here. Could I not? Like, that's insane. Isn't that nuts? That might seem even a little greedy still. They'll go there and then there'll be some problem with this that maybe I'll end up losing because of it. I wouldn't mind just going for the kill here. Take this, take this. That's actually an unfavorable trade, but I'm up by so much that it's fine. I don't think you really have to keep reloading like this, but I just feel like doing it. The 51 versus... We finally get to change my stupid ass board, and I actually did fall below 16, which is really shameful. So I'm not too happy about that. And we're on the final piece of art, so I could just go until I lose, and look how unlikely it would be, dude. This is where people have questions. Some of these states, man, they has a pattern. 91, 70. Like, why does it just suddenly stop, bro? This has been stopped there. Everything is stopped. Stop the steal. As he would have said last time. It's just one of those moments that just seems so weird. Everything's going smoothly, you know, at a regular pace, regardless of whatever outcomes. And then all of a sudden it gets like this. So you could try to go there, try to go here, stop the pin. That one's been at 50% for a while. These have been sort of stuck in place. So now they're all going to coordinate to stop because, oh no, if he wins these, he'll win. And they can't allow that. Like, it just gives you that impression, honestly. They've been sitting there. It's just frozen. You know, because these become much more consequential now as the time sort of dwindles down or, you know, the window kind of closes. So these were some of the same ones that took a long time, I think, the last time. Right, it seemed like he was going to win Michigan, then he didn't. Seemed like he was going to win Pennsylvania, then he didn't. This would be the way you could dictate sort of an outcome, in the sense that a lot of the states are a foregone conclusion anyway, right? That the ones that are these swing states or make the little middle of the ground difference, these are the ones that determine the outcome here. And so, you know, this would be what you'd manipulate if you were going to do it. See that one jumped all of a sudden. Here it comes, dude. I'm sensing something. Right, then now they're gonna get sudden bumps in 300,000 or something. You could go here. So that one suddenly changed. A lot of these are just stuck and frozen in place. Even that one, which makes no sense at all, because that should have been done a while ago. You have maybe this one. This does make it pretty hard to concentrate somehow. Like, I can't really, not that I'm using that as an excuse, but if I took there, okay, this is gonna be a bad news. The problem with this is, if only I could attack that again, it would be pretty good. Some of these people are so good sometimes. They would take, I would take. They would take, I would take, they would still take. Plus, too, sometimes with these arts and everything, you can't even see that shit. Like, whether you're up or down material. This is the moment that you would dread. Like, all of a sudden, these are all gonna flip the other way. Like, this is good. This is why it's good to have it on video too. Like, you're 67%, you're up by a little decent amount. You're up a little bit here. You're up a good amount here, and a very significant 77% reporting. You're up even here in a way that is good. So, I mean, you could pretty much call it there. But, okay, this will be a little bit scary, I guess. You could just go there, and then you're guaranteed to do something else. You can unleash this wherever you want, but you can't really unleash to attack the rook anymore at this point. So you can go here and almost cover up the... What? This guy is so sure of himself and so fast all the time. Okay, bro, everything slows down just in time. 68, 37. Like, this is the moment where you gotta put some scrutiny. Like, what are you waiting for? Why are these final ones that could determine the outcome suddenly slow and suddenly out of place? Uh... Hmm. All you would have needed to do is somehow hit this, take. You're gonna hit this there, which is gonna be a problem. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm so fucking not paying attention today. Not that I've been playing well in the last several sessions anyway. Minimalist chest workout. Minimalist workout for all around strength. Chest workout puzzle. Yeah, fuck puzzles. Game of 10 plus 0, 20 minutes. But that's not really a workout. That's just an actual game. Review for 15 minutes. You want to review for almost as long as you actually play the fucking game itself. So this is the moment in time that is so fucking predictable that whatever, bro. Okay, see you tomorrow. We're gonna miss the 3 a.m. ballot harvesting from fucking Pennsylvania.